Welcome. We're here for our gentle restorative yoga blend, which is our time to just focus on being more than doing. So allow yourself this time just to relax. We'll do some stretching, some gentle yoga for the first half of the class. We'll move into the restorative phase for the second half of the class. If you haven't done restorative before, we're just going to do a very few poses and hold them for several minutes to let the joints really open and relax. I've got my pile of pillows, bolster, blanket, cushions, whatever you've got, towels. You can use pretty much anything to support yourself. If you were in an actual class with a studio, you might have some blocks. So you might need extra cushions to use instead of blocks today. I'm going to start today. Well, let me just say, today's class, I always tell my classes, or often tell my classes, three of my favorite things in yoga are hamstring stretches, hip openers, and twists. And we'll always do those. Pretty much any yoga class, you'll do some variation of those, I suppose. Today's emphasis is a little bit more on quads. So we're going to do a few things for our quads today. So look for that. But we're starting today on our backs in Supta Baddha Konasana. So we'll lie down, bringing the soles of our feet together, making a diamond shape with our legs, letting our knees just fall out to the side. Now, we're not going to be here forever, but if you do want a little support for your legs, feel free to take a couple of towels or blankets and put underneath your thighs for support if you feel that'll help you. Coming into stillness, let's start by hugging the rib cage. Relaxing, bringing awareness to your breath. Let's practice that heart-centered breathing. And you got your hands on your ribs so you can feel those ribs expand as you inhale. And relax back into it. So we'll just take a couple of breaths, holding the ribs. Get that physical sense of expansion through the chest and rib cage as we breathe into the heart. And once you have that awareness, you can release your arms down to the floor. Palms up. Let our eyes close for a moment. Just go with that breath for a bit. Imagine energy flowing in and out of your heart. Just relax and melt into your mat. Now let's open our eyes. Bring our knees up. Move our feet a little wider apart than our hips and sway the knees from side to side. Loosening up the back a little bit. Coming to stillness. Let's cross the right leg over the left and let the legs fall to the left. We'll bring our arms out to the side. And just breathe. Take this gentle spinal twist. And we'll lift back to center. Uncross the legs. Now the left leg crossing over the right leg, and the legs falling to the right. And breathe. Give yourself a few breaths here to melt into this twist. Coming back to center. Let's slide that left leg out so just the ankle is on the right thigh now. With both hands, we'll grab the right thigh, pulling the right knee into the chest, pressing the left elbow into the left inner thigh for our supine pigeon stretch. And now switching the cross of our legs, bringing the right ankle over the left thigh, grabbing the left thigh with both hands, hugging in, pressing the right elbow against the right inner thigh, opening the hip, and breathing deeper into our supine pigeon. Let's release this down and uncross our legs. We'll roll to one side for side bow. So on our side, we'll bend the top leg back. We'll grab that foot or ankle and pull up and back. Getting some opening in the front body. This is the beginning of our quadricep work. You should feel opening in the top leg, in the front of the thigh, in the quadriceps, and the hip flexors. Let's release that. We're going to roll to the other side for half bow on the other side. So stacking our hips, stacking our shoulders, bending our top leg back, pulling up and back, opening hip flexors, opening quadriceps. Release that. Let's roll face down now onto our bellies. We'll point our toes so our toenails are down on the floor. We'll do a locust variation here. You can do whatever arms are best for you. I'm going to do hands behind the head today with elbows open. You can do hands stacked. You can do hands at your side, whatever feels good to you. We'll take our first set, squeezing our legs together, zipping up our thighs, and reaching back through our toes and lifting up just enough to engage the glutes and the lower back. Remember, we're not trying to hyperextend the spine here. We're trying to keep it just engaged, just activating the muscles. Couple of breaths. Relax that back down. Now we can do upper body, head, shoulders, chest. Just lifting up, holding for a few breaths. Again, just engaging those back muscles. Being gentle with the back, not hyperextending. And relaxing back down. We'll do that 2 more times. You're welcome to repeat just the legs and then just the upper body, or you can do either of those things twice, or you can lift both together if that's your choice. So choose your option. Inhale and lift, and breathe. Relax it back down. One more time, your choice. Inhale, lift, breathe. Relax it back down. While we're here, we'll do Sphinx pose. Let's draw the elbows in under our shoulders. You can have your arms parallel with your palms grounded. If you like to interlace your fingers, make that little triangle with your hands, that's okay too. Core is relaxed, abs are relaxed, lower back is relaxed. Just let your hips melt into the floor, and press into your elbows and lift your chest. Shine your chest forward. Try to pull your rib cage away from your pelvis, but not engage your lower back or abdominals. Just feel the stretch there. So you're stretching your midsection, pulling your rib cage up and away. Relax. Take a breath. Let's do that one more time. Press into your elbows, lift your chest. Shine your chest forward. Feel a nice stretch all through your midsection. And relax. Let's press ourselves back into child's pose. So coming back up onto our knees. Bring our big toes together. You can open your knees as wide as you like and sink your hips back towards your heels. Letting your forehead float down to the floor or mat. Just bring awareness to the lower back, the hips. Feel that gentle lengthening of the spine. Let's use sinking breath here. Inhale to expand and exhale to press the hips back and down farther. Let's inhale and exhale, taking our hands to the left side of our bodies. Perhaps stacking the right hand on top of the left hand. You may have felt your right hip pop up a little bit there, so we're going to inhale and exhale to sink deeper into that right hip. And as we do, we're going to feel more opening in the right side of the body, especially in the rib cage. So let's use our breath here to inhale and expand those ribs, much as we did earlier in our heart-centered breathing. Inhale to expand, exhale to sink back. And then inhaling and exhaling our hands back out, about shoulder width apart. Sinking, breathing, settling back in, finding that length in the spine. And then inhaling and exhaling our hands over to the right side, perhaps stacking the left hand on top of the right hand. And if that left hip popped up, and it probably did, let's inhale and exhale and sit back into it. And feel the openness and stretch in the left side of your body. And use the breath to expand the rib cage and deepen the stretch. Let's inhale and exhale, hands back up to shoulder width. Settle in for a couple of breaths. And then we'll slowly walk our hands in toward our knees as we rise. Take a breath or two, let the blood come back to your brain. Coming now to Thunderbolt pose, which is a kneeling pose with the legs together where we sit on the heels. We're not going to be here for too long, but if you like, you can also put a blanket or a towel behind your knees. Might be more comfortable. You can also put a towel under your ankles here. But again, we're not going to be here terribly long today. If you have a strap or towel handy, we are going to do Gomukhasana in this pose. Just the arms. So cow face pose, but the arms. So let's roll our shoulders back to start. If you've got a strap, you can put it over one shoulder. We'll roll the shoulders back. Let's sweep the right arm up and then pat yourself on the back. Got a strap, grab onto it. Let's take the left arm out to the side. Turn the thumb under. Now reach behind, reach across your back as far as you can, and then up to grab that strap. If you don't need a strap and you can grab your fingertips, go ahead and grab your fingertips. Now your bottom hand pulls down, your top elbow points up. Keep that lift in your sternum, that length in your front body, and you will feel the stretch in the triceps of your top arm, your right arm. A couple of breaths here. Relax. Let's bring the strap to the left arm, left shoulder. Again, I like to roll the shoulders back. This opens up our shoulders more, creating space as we roll them back and down. Sweeping the left arm up, patting ourselves on the back. Extending the right arm out, turning the thumb under, then reaching all the way across the body first, and then up to grab the strap, if you want to use a strap, and pull. If you don't have a strap or a towel, you can also just grab your elbow, pull back this way. Keep lots of length in your spine, lots of lift in your chest, and relax. So from Thunderbolt, come up, straightening our hips, bring our arms forward, and walk them out to puppy pose. So it's kind of like, very much like child's pose, but the hips are up this time. Let's take the left arm and thread the needle under the right arm, and then try to bring the forehead down to the floor. And breathe, always breathing. Let's bring that left arm back forward. Come back to puppy, take a couple of breaths. Now let's take that right arm and thread the needle under the left arm. And just sink down. And bring that right arm forward. Let's come back to puppy just for a moment, just to settle into it, to find our breath. And we'll slowly walk our hands in. Let's step the left foot forward. Coming into our low lunge, our Anjaneyasana. Let's walk that back foot back. So we're finding some openness in the hip and quads. Here's those quads again. We can bring our hands to our thighs as we sit up, and then pressing forward, opening up. For me, it's going to be my back leg hip, whichever that is to you. Hip opening, quad stretching. Trying to lift the chest up, because if I am leaning forward, I lose some of that hip opening, as you can see. I have to lift to open the hip more, sinking into it. Now pressing back, coming to our Hanumanasana, our hamstring stretch. You can bring your hands down to the floor, blocks, whatever you've got. Keeping the spine long, inhaling for length in the spine, exhaling to fold deeper, finding hamstring stretch. Now breathe into this one. Again, use that sinking breath. Inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, going deeper, folding chest toward the thigh. This will be our primary hamstring stretch today, so we're going to linger here a tiny bit. That means don't make it too painful. Shouldn't hurt. Make it sustainable. Lengthen the spine and sink deeper into it. Let's come back forward for a second round of Anjaneyasana, the low lunge. Sinking the hips, pressing forward, finding openness and stretch here. If you're not feeling a stretch here, try to walk that foot back a little more if you have to. Now sinking back, coming back into our Hanumanasana. Lengthen the spine, fold deeper. Remember, when we inhale, we're using more of our sympathetic nervous system. When we exhale, we're engaging parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest that relaxes us. So those exhales give us the space we need to deepen our stretch a little bit sometimes. Rise up and bring that leg back. Take a breath. Now we'll step the right foot forward. We'll walk the left foot back as much as we need to. Hands come to thigh, we sit up. We inhale and exhale to sink deeper, leaning forward. Again, feeling stretch in the hip and quads of that back leg. And now sinking back, hands to floor or blocks, spine long, inhale, exhale, folding the chest toward the thigh. Hanumanasana. Lengthen and deepen. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to deepen. Keep breathing. And then shifting forward, hands to thigh, Anjaneyasana. Opening hip with hip flexors and quadriceps. And then sinking back again. Inhale, lengthening spine. Exhale, folding deeper. The muscles need a little time to release and relax. Bring that leg back. Let's curl our toes under. Let's roll back onto the balls of our feet. Let's inhale to straighten our legs. Exhale to relax into forward fold with soft knees. Inhale to rise up. Coming to a nice easy mountain pose. Hip width stance. If you prefer feet closer together, you're welcome to take that option. Let's just shift from one foot to the other, grounding our feet. Let's come to stillness. Let's lift all our toes. And then from pinky toe to big toe, roll them down into the mat. Let's really feel that your feet and toes are pressing and grounded into the mat. Stacking the spine, lifting the sternum, drawing the abs in and up, rolling our shoulders back and down, extending arms out, starfish hands. Lots of lift in the front body, keeping length in the spine. Think about your hips. If you feel you're tilting your hips forward, tuck them under. Think about sliding your sacrum down, lengthening your lower back. Let's roll our shoulders. Let's sweep the right arm up into the air. And inhale to lift. Taking a lateral flexion here, expanding the right side body, I'll give you the option to inhale and exhale over slightly. But keep lots of lift in this. So it's going up and over. So lifting first and then flexing over. Inhale, lifting, exhale, flexing. Coming back up. We'll switch sides. Inhaling the left arm up. You can keep just extended straight up if you like. If it's your option, you can inhale tall, exhale, and flex. Inhale, expand. Exhale to bend. Coming back to mountain. We're going to play with goddess pose today. It's a little bit like our moonflowers we do, but without the movement. Let's take our feet out about the width of the length of your leg. So think about making an equilateral triangle, a triangle where all three sides are the same length with your legs and the space between your feet on the floor. And you may have to adjust this as we go along. This is just a starting point. You do what works for you. We want the knees, we want the feet at about a 45-degree angle pointing out, about a 45-degree angle, the knees pointing out toward the toes. Let's bring our hands to our inner thighs to start. Now, keeping the spine stacked, the chest lifted, and the pelvis tucked under. Let's make that our primary objective, keeping the spine stacked tall, the pelvis tucked. So we're not going to go any deeper than we can go, maintaining that nice mountain pose posture in the upper body. So bringing hands to thighs, inhale and exhale and sink. Stop where you have to stop, keeping tucked under. Our goal eventually is to get pretty much thighs parallel to the floor, with spine stacked, tucked under, a nice lift in the body. Arms can come to the side, to cactus. Let's bring hands behind the head. Inhale the spine tall, exhale, turning to the right. Inhale tall, exhale back to center. Inhale tall, exhale turn left. Inhale tall, exhale come to center. Release your hands. Let's walk our feet back in. We'll do a quick balance pose today. Today we're going to do eagle legs, just the legs, not the arms. So starting with hip width stance, let's come to heart center. Let's push our hips back into a gentle chair pose. Let's ground into the right foot. Again, really seal that foot against the floor, that Pada Bandha, and bring the left leg over the right. Now, if you can wrap your foot around your calf, go right ahead. Find a stationary spot to focus on. And we'll just hang out here for a couple of breaths with our eagle legs. And we'll rise back up. Come back to mountain. Sink into chair. Ground into the left foot this time. Bring the right foot over. If you can wrap it, up to you. Breathing, balancing. And rising back up. Let's shake it out. Let's move into our restorative portion today. And we're going to start today with a reclining hero pose. You're going to need lots of cushions, pillows, bolsters, whatever for this one. Well, I say lots because there are some variations here. So let's start with whatever you have that best approximates a bolster. And I'm going to grab some blocks. So if you don't have blocks, it's not a problem. Just use extra pillows or whatever. We're going to make a little ramp with our bolster. So at the head of your mat, where your head's going to go, I'm going to put one block up and one block down. And then make that little ramp here. So we'll be lying back on this. Now, hero's pose is a little bit like Thunderbolt, but you have your feet apart and you sit into it, which is very challenging. It's a strong quad stretch, but this is restorative, so we're not going to make it crazy. We're going to sit on something as well. So take a blanket or a smaller cushion and make yourself something to sit on as well. And again, you might need extra here, depending how far back you can comfortably lean. So I'm going to back up. And sit on my blanket. Now, again, my feet are wider than my hips. My toes and feet are pointing straight back. They're not out. They're pointing back. I've lost my block. Now, if this just isn't going to work for me at all, I can just straighten my legs. Maybe take a towel or, a blanket rather, and roll it up under my knees. And just do a reclining, heart opening pose here like this. But I'm going to go myself with hero's pose. So, set up your ramp, set up your seat. Get yourself over your seat with your toes pointing straight back. Lie back onto your ramp. Ideally, you've got some support for your head here. So try to adjust yourself so you do have your head resting on something. And if that feels okay, settle into it. Close your eyes. Relax your arms. If you'd like to put some pillows or cushions under your arms as well for some support there, you're welcome to. Let's imagine that heart-opening breath again. Inhale and exhale. Just relax. Everything should feel supported at this point. If you feel unsupported in some way, try to find a way with a towel or a blanket or a pillow to make that feel supported. This is a strong stretch, or it can be, so do use as much cushioning as you need to make it comfortable. We are still opening our quads. You can always raise your hips further off the floor. You can always extend your legs out straight. And if you want to change halfway through, that's fine too. Let's deepen our breath. Open our eyes. Begin to sit up. Take your time. So we're going to move from a heart opening pose to a forward folding pose. Today we'll be doing pigeon. So we'll be doing one side at a time. So I will tell you when to switch halfway through. For this, we're going to need a bolster or something comparable to sit on, and then a pile of blankets or pillows or another bolster, whatever we've got, to rest our head on. So, let me set up my head pile up here. And then so I'm going to bring, so from sitting on my bolster, let's start with the left leg forward, the right leg back. So I'm going to swing that right leg back for pigeon pose. I can adjust the bolster. So my toenails are down. My toes are pointing back. I'm going to lean forward. So I'm opening this hip here. This foot is flexed. By the way, your front foot is flexed. It's not pointed. I'm facing my pillows, my blankets, and I'm folding down. You can turn your head whichever way is comfortable for you. You'll be turning the opposite way on your other side most likely, so it'll even out in the long run. This is a nice hip opening stretch. So just settle and sink into it. Make sure you have enough cushioning that you're going to remain comfortable for about 5 minutes. Let's begin to press ourselves back up. Bring that right leg around. Coming back to our comfortable seat here. And then we'll take the left leg back. Put the toenails down. The right foot flexed. Adjusting your bolster as needed. Now this front leg, I should say, there's this idea that the leg should be parallel to the front edge of your mat. That's not necessarily the case. You have to find what works for you. So if your knee is a little bit more bent, if it's not a right angle, if it's a little bit more acute angle, that's okay. Find what works, settle in. Take your pigeon pose. Let's begin to press ourselves back up. And we'll move now to our final relaxation. And today I'm just offering our usual Shavasana with options to bolster your knees and so forth. But if any other pose we've done before is reaching out to you, calling to you, like Mountain Brook or Supta Baddha Konasana with bolsters, feel free. I'm simply going to take a blanket and roll it up. This will go under my knees. I could also take a towel under my neck. Remember, if you're using a towel under your neck, you can unroll it or roll it to whatever level gives you a comfortable fit to keep a nice long neck. And today, I remembered my washcloth that I can use instead of an eye pillow. So let's go ahead, lie back. Slide that blanket under your knees if you'd like to. Find that neck roll if you'd like. This is almost Mountain Brook already. To make it Mountain Brook, I would just put something under my lower back. So that's an option. And my eye pillow. So eyes are closed. Arms come down to the floor. Palms are up. Let's just scan the body. See if everything feels relaxed. See if there's anything that's not grounding into the floor that needs some support. See if we need to lengthen our neck or shift our shoulder blades or adjust our hips to feel a little more comfortable, to find a little more length in the spine or neck. And then let's just bring our awareness to that sense of weight in our body, that feeling of grounding down. Start at our feet and feel our heels sinking down into the floor. Perhaps the backs of our legs or knees pressing into a blanket or the floor. Hips are grounding. Back is sinking. Shoulder blades are just melting down. Arms are relaxed and heavy. And the head just grounds down and melts into the floor. Everything's supported, so everything can be relaxed. And we bring our awareness back into our breathing. We use it to focus the mind, following the inhales and exhales. Just observing any thoughts that drift through, letting them go. This is a time just to be peaceful and calm. Breathe in, breathe out, and go deeper into your Shavasana. If you are feeling the way I feel right now and you just don't want to move, please stay in your Shavasana for as long as you would like. When you're ready to come out of it, we'll deepen our breath. Let's bring our hands to our rib cage the way we did earlier in class and just hug the ribs. Expand those ribs with the breath. As we come back into the body, we can release our arms, we can move our fingers and toes, we can circle our wrists and ankles, we can reverse directions of the circles. If you need to remove any washcloths or blankets, go ahead. And we'll sweep our arms up overhead for full body stretch. Reaching out through our fingertips and down through our toes, inhaling to expand, lifting the ribcage. Exhaling to relax. Inhaling to expand, lengthening the body. Exhaling to relax. One more time, inhaling to lengthen. Exhaling to relax. And as we feel ready, we can roll to one side. Stacking hip over hip, shoulder over shoulder. Knees are bent. We're in a comfortable fetal position. We'll take a couple of breaths here. And then with as much ease as possible, press ourselves up to our comfortable seated position. Stacking our spine, rolling our shoulders back and down, lifting the sternum, bringing hands to heart center. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.